Good evening. Welcome to the Manistee City Council. Today is Tuesday, October 4th. It's 7 p.m. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heather, could you please take the roll call?
Councilmember Bachman.
Here.
Mayor Beaton.
Here.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Here.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Here.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Here.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Here.
City Manager.
Here.
City Attorney.
Here.
Finance Director. Police Chief.
Here.
Fire Chief.
Here.
City Engineer.
Here.
Roll call complete.
Thank you, Heather. Next, we have public hearings. There are none. After that, citizen comments on agenda-related items. This is an opportunity for citizens to comment on agenda-related items only. Citizens in attendance shall be recognized by the mayor for comments limited to 5 minutes. Letters submitted to council will not be publicly read. Seeing none. Consent agenda. All agenda items marked with an asterisk are on the consent agenda and considered by the city manager to be routine matters. Prior to approval of the consent agenda, any member of council may have an item from the consent agenda removed and taken up during the regular portion of the meeting. Consent agenda items include approval of minutes, cash balances, revenue and expenses, notification regarding next study session, consideration of the 33rd Annual Victorian Sleigh Bell Parade and Old Christmas Weekend, consideration of the Manistee High School Homecoming Parade. At this time, council could take action to approve the consent agenda as presented. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Bachman.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Unfinished business, we have none. New business. Consideration of authorizing a grant agreement. The city was recently awarded an EDA grant in the amount of $850,000 to make improvements to the South River Walk from Spruce Street just east of US 31. The DDA is providing matching funds in the amount of $240,000. This project will improve access, safety, stormwater management, and cultural education on the Riverwalk. At this time, council could take action to authorize the city manager to sign Form CD 450 on behalf of the city and the necessary budget amendment to accept and implement the grant project. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Is this the picture here of what they're doing?
So that's the conceptual rendering, and there's several different pages of it, but yes, it's kind of the outline. We're going to be hiring a design firm outside of Spicer to actually do the final bid documents for this, and we'll bid it out. So we have 30 days to get the agreement back to them, and then we have 31 months to complete the project.
I was looking over the paperwork, and I had a question on number 11 in the paperwork, and it had to do with women and minorities and percentages that have to be in the, who's ever working on it, we have to meet those percentages. How is that going to work? Because I know the labor force up here is stretched pretty thin, so I'm wondering how we're going to get women and minorities to hit those numbers, and also was just kind of curious if you're a woman and also a minority, if that counts in both categories at the same time.
So we're going to partner with Michigan Works with this contract, and I think we have some of these questions. We have a kickoff meeting with the EDA next Tuesday, so I will get more clarity on that, but I think we'll be working with Michigan Works to try to reach those numbers and help with recruiting, whatever we need to do. But I would think, yes, if you're both a woman and a minority, that would help satisfy both categories.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Mr. Beckman, I can't see you, so I'm not sure. With you.
No, I'm all set, thank you.
Okay, thanks. I think we're ready for roll call.
Councilmember Bachman.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of a Gold Star Memorial Plaque at Veterans Memorial Park. The Spirit of the Woods Garden Club is requesting approval to place a Gold Star Memorial Plaque at Veterans Memorial Park at the dedication ceremony planned for Sunday, June 11th, 2023. The memorial plaque will be mounted to a boulder and placed below the existing Blue Star Memorial. The Blue Star Memorial was presented by the Spirit of the Woods Garden Club 12 years ago. Marker and expenses will be the responsibility of the Spirit of the Woods Garden Club. At this time, council could take action to approve the Spirit of the Woods Garden Club to install and dedicate a Gold Star Memorial Plaque at Veterans Memorial Park. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seems like this is just a wonderful thing to happen. I know that you're very heavily involved with the veterans, so.
Yep. Well, I think this is appropriate recognition.
Okay. All right.
Veterans have to approve this, right?
I believe we do, the city council.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, I think we're ready for roll call.
Questions, I'm here to answer any,
Oh.
or represent them, so.
Well, tell us how you raised the money for the,
We just had a perennial sale, the price of the plaque is $610, and we raised $648. We also have some reserve in the garden club that we will need to spend on the boulder that we're going to buy and on the landscaping.
For the benefit of the public, could you identify what Gold Star means?
Yes.
Would you mind coming to the mic? I'm sorry.
We have a blue star.
yeah, could you step forward?
Thank you.
We have a Blue Star Memorial presently at Veterans Park. I do have pictures for you, if you like. And that was put in by the Garden Club 12 years ago. And now,
I think we got it.
now we want, and that was for the veterans that died. It's a tribute to all the armed forces. And now we want to put Gold Star, and what the Gold Star represents is the mothers and the families of all the servicemen who have lost veterans in the service. And these were started by the Garden Club years ago, and they put them on the byways and highways. They're throughout the United States. So we just want to complete our service to that by adding the Gold Star to incorporate families.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I just want to say thanks to the Garden Club for doing this and raising the money for it. I appreciate it.
Also, I'd just like to thank the Garden Club for all the work that they do beautifying Veterans Park every year. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're ready for,
I was trying to get that zoomed in so people could see.
there, it's kind of hard to
There
see.
you go.
There we go.
Opposite of what you think.
You ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming forward.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Bachmann.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next, we have consideration of recognizing the Lakeside Club of Manistee as a nonprofit organization. I wish to state publicly that I am a director in the Lakeside Club, but we've checked with George Saylor, and it's all right for me to vote on this. So with that, I will go ahead and read this. The Lakeside Club is a civic organization with approximately 40 members and has been in existence since 1885. They hold fundraisers each year with the proceeds from the events given to the Manistee County nonprofit organizations. The Lakeside Club would like to hold an in-house raffle during their tea and fashion show fundraiser in May 2023, which requires they apply for a charitable gaming license in the state of Michigan. One of the requirements to obtain this license is to be recognized by the local body of government as a nonprofit organization in the community. Therefore, they are asking the City of Manistee to adopt a resolution to recognize the Lakeside Club of Manistee as a nonprofit organization. At this time, council could take action to approve a resolution to recognize the Lakeside Club as a local nonprofit organization for the purpose of applying for a charitable gaming license for the state of Michigan.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Is this like a one-time use thing, or is it?
The Lakeside Club alternates years where they do certain fundraisers, and they alternate. 2023 will be the year that they do the tea and fashion show, and then next year it will be, instead of the tea, we will have a different fundraiser, like the tour of homes. We alternate those two, so.
But when
And I'm
you need
here
the,
also, if you'd like to have anybody direct any questions towards me. I'm Deb Greenman, the president of Lakeside.
That is, yes. I didn't see you over there, Deb.
You're doing a good job.
Okay.
but to do the, you have to get this license for gaming, is that just for a one-time thing? or-
It's for the tea, because we don't raise a lot of money by the tea alone, so we'd like to do an auction.
But the designation nonprofit stays with them forever at this point, right? We don't have to come back and be re-recognized
Not for
every time
this-
they get a license.
No,
Next year, if they want to do another raffle, they can
once,
do it
we
on.
just have to apply for it. Once the state of Michigan recognizes that you recognize us as a nonprofit and we submit the correct paperwork, we are in their book as being a nonprofit, and then we just have to fill out an application for each event.
We're good. So we won't bug you every year.
No.
Thank you, Deb. Anybody else have any questions? Heather, go ahead, take roll call.
Councilmember Bachmann.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Notices, communications, announcements. We have none. They were all on consent agenda. All right, concerns and comments, citizen comment. This is an opportunity for citizens to comment on municipal services, activities, or areas of city involvement. Citizens in attendance shall be recognized by the mayor for comments limited to 5 minutes. Letters submitted to council will not be publicly read. Seeing none? Oh, we have one. We have a Lucas.
I think Sean have one more about the Quincy Cleveland project, but I just wanted to come up here and announce that the Neighborhood Restoration and Beautification Commission is going to be having a community service day on October 12th from 4 to 7. Excuse me. And what our project is going to consist of is cleaning up a lot of the sidewalks to make it a little bit more accessible for the Quincy Cleveland residents, because they're going to be encumbered of the construction over the next few months. So we wanted to do something that would make accessibility a little better over there. So I just wanted to advertise that.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, see anybody else? All right, I guess we'll move on to officials and staff.
Thank you, Mayor. And as Spicer mentioned, we are going to be getting out some more information on the timeline for Quincy Cleveland. It was a little bit delayed with the rainy weather, and some contractors that are working on that are working on other projects over at 8th and Vine. So more to come by the end of the week. We'll have something out. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Saylor?
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
Ed Bradford?
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
John Middleton?
I'll just add to,
Can you come up so I can hear you?
so Quincy and Cleveland, we had our meeting and we kind of discussed that Division A, Division B of our RD contract is being done by Hallett Contracting. They are also the contractor for Quincy and Cleveland. So they got kind of delayed 3 or 4 days with some rain, pushed everything back. They're finishing up grading on the streets on Division A. And they just started 8th and Vine pump station removal today. So it's going to take them several days to get through that. And then that crew will be the one that goes to Quincy and Cleveland. So the last text, which was about 4 minutes ago, hopefully they're looking at, getting into Quincy and Cleveland next week. So we are going to send a letter out when we know more tomorrow. So we'll have specifics on maybe better dates. So you should be receiving a letter just saying when we think they'll start. So it's, we're not the contractor and we don't control the weather. So it's kind of a tricky business to try and predict, but we're hoping early next week. And when they're off that job, they'll be fully on Quincy and Cleveland. So then they'll be in full construction mode on that project. And then likely the reality is they will not finish, they won't be able to pave this year. So they'll get all the utilities as much as they can in, probably up into November, December when the weather pushes them off. We'll get stone grade back on all the roads so we can get through the winter, and we'll probably actually finish the curb and gutter and the paving next spring. So.
How's it going to be for plowing snow there?
Nobody likes the option of having gravel, but it probably beats the option of pushing the whole job off to next spring. So we've talked to Jeff a lot about it. It's not preferred, but we'll work with that. There probably will be some stones getting pushed off the road into people's yards. We're going to have to work with that in the spring. So.
Thank you. Fire Chief Cameron?
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
Police Chief?
I don't have anything, John. Thank you.
Mr. Backel?
Mr. Gamble, you and I talked about the ambulance and being outside the city, and I got the impression we're going to bring it to a work session. Do you know when that might happen?
We can bring that back in, I think, November, or we can discuss a little bit at this October meeting if you'd like. I'm waiting on data from the fire chief to have some more information. We have a tentative meeting scheduled with with the hospital on October 20th. So I guess until I had the data, I didn't want to discuss it.
I hadn't heard any feedback, so I was just curious. Okay, November's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Cindy?
I just wanted to say that I went to the 18th annual, what was that called? Summit thing, whatever, where all the communities were together. It was really great. The presentations were great and it was really good information. You definitely need to be thinking about housing.
Thank you. Aaron?
Okay, nothing.
Mr. Grabowski?
I just got to go. I already talked to the chief about the snow. People are calling me about snow already. So we're trying to work that one out. What I would like to ask, and I know people have talked about it, but some people have gotten a hold of me that are relatives to Dale Picardi, and he worked for the city. He was the boss at the city garage, was at City Hall. They would like to put a bench someplace for him, and I know Jeff didn't want to really do any more benches, but they don't want a chair, and they would like to have this bench, and they would like something from the city that they can put money in and get one, pay for it. I don't know where they want to put it yet. They just want to wait and get the permission. And I think that, you know, Dale was pretty important. He did a lot of work around the city. And so I worked with him, I know. And so I would just like to see him get a bench. I know a lot of people want benches, that's the problem. But they would really like it because he was an employee here. Thank you.
Thank you. Nick?
I just got, have we got any information on the next phase for the streetscape project? Have they made any dates?
So they did award, or they offered to award one contractor. It was F&V. They had a partnership with a couple other vendors as well. We're currently working with George to get the contract done and bring that to the DDA for approval.
Okay. Any idea of a timeline?
So I think, yeah, at this point, getting the contract signed and then kind of working with them and setting up those community engagement meetings. So I would imagine over the winter months, we'll be working towards getting a scope and then implementing.
Thanks.
Yep.
I forgot to mention one thing. Also went to Fricano's grand opening, which was really great. Ted did a really nice speech, did a really nice job. Pizza was great. It was really neat to be there and support him, and I look forward to that place being hopping.
Oh, how ironic. I signed up for the work session for the neighborhood restoration and beautification project, not knowing that it was going to be Quincy. It's like the stars have aligned. I get to actually work on your street. So I'm pretty excited about that now that I know what the project is. So anyway, don't throw anything at me. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands that this has been something that's been very close to my heart, and of course the residents on Quincy Street who have waited a very, very long time. But for me, it's 7 years waiting to see this happen. So I'm happy to see it. All right, that's all I have. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Enough, Jeff Gordon.